Silence is often mistaken for weakness, but in reality, it is one of the purest forms of strength. The world teaches us to constantly announce our every move, to show our progress, to declare our plans before they are born. Yet those who rise to the highest levels of success know a secret most people ignore: power grows best in silence. When you hold your words, you are not withholding weakness, you are storing energy. You are allowing your mind, your will, and your vision to breathe without the interruption of outside noise. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is a forge where strength is shaped and focus is sharpened. Every great victory is prepared in the dark before it is celebrated in the light. You cannot plant a seed and expect it to grow if you keep digging it out of the soil to show others. The same is true with your dreams. They need silence to take root, to grow strong, and to prepare for their time of harvest. The power of silence lies in its ability to protect what is fragile. In the early stages of any goal, an idea can be easily crushed by the wrong word, the wrong judgment, or the wrong opinion. When you speak too soon, you expose yourself to those who cannot understand your vision, to those who may mock or belittle it, and even to those who may envy it. Their words do not destroy your dream directly, but they weaken your spirit. Doubt is planted in your heart, not because you doubted yourself, but because you gave someone else permission to influence you. Silence prevents this invasion. By keeping your plans hidden, you guard your spirit from unnecessary battles, and you allow your energy to remain pure, focused only on creation, not on defense. In silence, you also discover yourself. When you are not busy explaining your purpose to others, you are forced to listen to your inner voice. You hear the whispers of intuition, the gentle guidance that tells you the right step to take. This is the kind of wisdom that cannot be heard in noise. Silence creates space for clarity, and with clarity, you become unshakable. People who talk too much about what they intend to do often confuse words for progress. But words without action are just air, empty and meaningless. Silence forces you to face reality. You are either moving forward or you are not. There is no illusion of progress, no applause to hide behind. There is only you and your work. The discipline of silence also builds a rare kind of respect. When people cannot figure out what you are doing, they start paying attention. Silence carries an aura of power, a presence that words cannot create. A person who constantly explains themselves is predictable, but a person who keeps their work hidden is magnetic. Others wonder what you are building, what you are planning, and why you are so guarded. Curiosity becomes your advantage. While they talk, you build. While they explain, you execute. While they scatter their energy, you are gathering strength. And when the moment comes for you to reveal what you have built, the impact is 10 times greater because no one saw it coming. This is why silence is not weakness but strength. Weakness craves recognition before results. Strength waits until results can speak louder than any words. Weakness wants to be understood by everyone. Strength knows that not everyone deserves access to the inner vision. Weakness reveals too much too soon. Strength protects the vision until the time is right. When you learn to stay silent about your path, you are no longer moved by the opinions of others. You free yourself from the need for approval, and you reclaim the most important energy of all: focus. Because in the end, success does not belong to the loud, it belongs to the disciplined, and discipline begins with silence. Every dream is born in silence, and at the beginning it is fragile. Like a seed hidden beneath the soil, it cannot survive harsh winds or careless hands. It needs protection. When you first begin to carry a vision in your heart, it is still forming. It is not yet strong enough to withstand the criticism, the envy, or the doubt of others. The moment you share it with the wrong people, you hand them the power to damage it. Not because their words are greater than your will, but because the human mind is sensitive in the early stages of creation. Doubt is contagious, and the slightest suggestion that your dream is impossible can weaken your confidence. This is why you must guard your vision as if it were a priceless treasure, because it is. It holds your future, your destiny, and the life you are meant to build. Protect it until it becomes too strong to be shaken. Guarding your vision means understanding that not everyone has the capacity to see what you see. Your dream is a picture in your heart that others cannot comprehend. When you try to explain it, you will often be met with confusion, skepticism, or even mockery. People are quick to judge what they do not understand, and their limited perspective can cloud your belief in yourself. You cannot expect others to support something that was never given to them in the first place. The vision was given to you, and you alone carry the responsibility of bringing it to life. Protecting it means choosing silence when your impulse is to share. It means working quietly, trusting that the results will speak for themselves when the time is right. A tree does not explain its growth. It simply grows until no one can deny its presence. Your vision requires the same patience and protection. There will always be people who seek to destroy what they cannot build. Some may do it out of jealousy, others out of fear, and some out of ignorance. When you reveal your plans too early, you invite them into a place they do not deserve to enter. You give them access to your mind, your energy, and your confidence. The truth is, not everyone in your life wants you to win. Some secretly wait for you to fail so they can feel justified in their own lack of courage. If you guard your vision, they never get the opportunity to interfere. They remain in the dark, unaware of the fire that is growing within you. And by the time they notice, it is too late for them to stop it. Your dream has already taken shape, too strong to be broken, too powerful to be denied. This is why silence is not just a choice, but a shield. It is a layer of protection that keeps your vision safe from the hands that would destroy it before it is born. Guarding your vision is the highest form of respect you can give to yourself. It shows that you value your future more than the temporary satisfaction of being understood. It proves that you are disciplined enough to keep your focus inward instead of scattering it outward. When you resist the urge to announce, you teach yourself patience. You give your vision the time it needs to grow, and you allow yourself to develop the strength required to carry it. Every day that you stay quiet, you are building inner power, and when the day comes to reveal what you have been working on, the world will have no choice but to respect it. Because a guarded vision, once released, is unstoppable. It cannot be mocked, it cannot be denied, and it cannot be destroyed. That is the reward of guarding your vision. It grows in silence, and when it is revealed, it speaks louder than anything you could have ever said. Every word you speak carries energy. It is not just sound, it is power released into the world. The moment you say something out loud, you give it form, you release it from the chamber of your mind, and you expose it to the atmosphere around you. If those words are careless, scattered, or spoken too early, you waste energy that could have been used for building. This is the hidden danger of speaking too much about your goals and dreams. The more you talk, the less power remains inside of you. You give away momentum before it has turned into results. Many people confuse talking with progress, but talking is not movement, it is a leak. Every time you announce what you will do, you reduce the urgency to actually do it. The energy that was once pushing you forward is released through your mouth, leaving you with less drive to execute. When you hold your words, something powerful happens. The energy stays within you, concentrated like fire inside a furnace. It grows hotter, more intense, and more focused. Instead of scattering it outward through endless explanations, you allow it to fuel your actions. Silence channels your energy inward, giving you the focus needed to execute. Think about how lightning gathers silently in the clouds before it strikes. It does not announce itself with chatter. It builds energy until it is undeniable. That is how your words must be handled. If you release them too soon, you weaken your strike. If you keep them contained, you build power that cannot be ignored when it finally explodes in results. This is why discipline with words is so important. Many people drain themselves by constantly explaining, justifying, or promising. They spend more energy trying to convince others than actually working on the task itself. Words are not free. They take something from you each time you use them. The stronger the dream, the more careful you must be with your speech, Imagine your words as drops of water. If you keep spilling them everywhere, the well will run dry. But if you store them, you create a reservoir powerful enough to nourish an entire field. The wise know that words must be spent with precision, not wasted in casual conversation about things that have not yet materialized. Silence is not emptiness, it is conservation. By refusing to release your energy in the form of words, you build a deeper connection with your actions. You become a person of substance rather than noise, and when you finally do speak, your words carry weight because they are backed by results and discipline. This is the true difference between those who talk about success and those who embody it. One burns their energy in empty speech. The other preserves it, channels it, and turns it into reality. Your words are energy, never waste them. Use them wisely, and let your silence do the building until your results speak louder than any voice ever could. The law of focus is simple. Whatever you give your attention to expands. But when you spend your time explaining yourself to others, you divide your energy. Each explanation steals a small piece of your strength, a small piece of your clarity, a small piece of your momentum. You start pouring energy into convincing people, into justifying your choices, instead of pouring that energy into execution. Focus is the difference between those who dream and those who achieve. Dreams scatter when you spread them across conversations, but they solidify when you channel all your effort into action. Explaining is cheap. Execution is priceless. The more time you spend talking about what you want to do, the less time you have left to actually do it. Focus demands discipline. It requires shutting out distractions, even the distraction of seeking validation through words. Every time you speak about your plans, you trigger your brain to feel as if progress has already been made. This false sense of accomplishment kills urgency. The satisfaction of talking replaces the hunger to act. That is why so many people never finish what they start. They feed themselves on words instead of results. But when you remain silent and put all your energy into working, your focus grows sharper. You stop needing to explain. You stop needing applause. You stop needing understanding. Your only need becomes progress. That kind of focus is rare, but it is the foundation of all great achievement. The law of focus also reminds you that energy flows where attention goes. If you spend your attention defending your choices to others, that is where your energy will stay, stuck in arguments, stuck in explanations, stuck in conversations that do not move you forward. But if you place your attention on building, on creating, on moving one step closer to your goal, your energy multiplies in that direction. You become unstoppable because you are no longer divided. Focus is like a magnifying glass. On its own, sunlight is harmless, but when focused through the glass, it becomes fire. Your life works the same way. Scattered words keep you average. Focused action makes you powerful. The truth is, focus creates results, not explanations. The world is not moved by what you promise. It is moved by what you produce. When you discipline yourself to stop talking and start doing, you step into a realm very few enter. You conserve energy, you sharpen your vision, and you accelerate your progress. This is the law of focus. Protect your energy from scattering through endless words, direct it toward action, and watch your results grow so strong that no explanation will ever be needed. Not everyone will understand the vision you carry, and that truth can be difficult to accept. You may feel the urge to share your dreams in hopes of encouragement, but many people cannot see beyond their own limits. When you speak about your goals, they do not measure them against your potential, they measure them against their fears. Their doubt is not a reflection of your capability, but a mirror of their own insecurities. If they have never walked the path you are about to walk, how can they possibly see what you see? They will call your dream unrealistic, not because it is, but because their imagination is too small to comprehend it. This is why silence is essential. Protecting your vision is protecting yourself from the misunderstanding of those who are too blind to believe. The reality is that most people live in cages built by fear. When you speak about freedom, they do not rejoice, they resist, because it challenges the walls they have built around themselves. If you tell someone who has settled for mediocrity that you want greatness, they may laugh or criticize, not because you cannot achieve it, but because your courage exposes their comfort. This is the danger of revealing your dreams to those who cannot understand them. Their words plant seeds of doubt in your heart, and even the strongest minds can be shaken when negativity repeats itself. Silence removes this danger. It keeps their disbelief from contaminating your belief. It allows your vision to grow untouched by the limitations of others. There will always be people who cannot celebrate you until you have already won. They are not built to believe in potential, only in proof. If you tell them what you plan to do, they will discourage you. But if you keep quiet and work, they will only see the results when they are undeniable. At that moment, their disbelief no longer matters because your vision has already become reality. Silence is not about arrogance, it is about protection. You are not hiding your dreams because they are weak. You are hiding them because you know that exposing them to the wrong environment can delay their growth. A seed does not grow in every soil. Your vision deserves to be planted in the soil of your discipline, not in the shallow ground of other people's opinions. The truth is simple. Not everyone will understand, and not everyone should. The vision was given to you, not to them. Their approval is not required, their belief is not necessary, and their understanding is not the foundation of your success. You are the one who must carry it, protect it, and nurture it. Let silence be your shield, let discipline be your soil. Let results be your voice. And when the world finally sees what you have built, even those who doubted will be forced to admit that what they could not understand was possible all along. The worker who moves in silence always holds the greatest advantage. While others are busy talking, seeking validation, and announcing their every step, the silent one is moving unseen, making progress without distraction. Silence creates mystery, and mystery creates power. When no one knows what you are building, no one can interfere with it. There is no sabotage, no envy fueled by details, no premature judgment that weakens your resolve. You carry your work like a hidden flame, and every day you feed it quietly until it becomes a fire too bright to ignore. The silent worker does not waste energy explaining. Instead, every ounce of strength is poured into creation. That is why the silent worker always wins, not because they are smarter, but because they are focused, disciplined, and invisible until the victory is undeniable. When you move in silence, your results strike with greater force. Imagine two paths, one where someone talks loudly about every step they plan to take, and another where someone takes those steps quietly, without fanfare. The loud path invites opinions, criticisms, and distractions. The quiet path avoids them entirely. The loud path wastes energy in conversation. The quiet path uses all energy for execution. By the time the loud talker has explained what they intend to do, the silent worker has already done it. And the shock of their accomplishment is far greater because no one saw it coming. That element of surprise is a weapon. It magnifies the impact of your success because the world is not prepared for it. Silence multiplies the weight of your results. The silent worker also commands respect without asking for it. When you constantly announce your goals, people expect results immediately, and if you fail, they dismiss you. But when you work in silence, no one sees your failures, your adjustments, or your struggles. They only see the finished product, the breakthrough, the achievement. And because they never witnessed your process, the outcome appears even more impressive. It is not smoke and noise that earns respect. It is results delivered without warning. Silence strips away empty promises and forces you to rely only on proof. The world respects proof, not words. Ultimately, the silent worker wins because silence sharpens discipline. It removes the need for applause and replaces it with the hunger for progress. It detaches you from the noise of the crowd and anchors you in the grind of your own effort. Every day of quiet work strengthens your foundation until you are unshakable. And when the time comes, your silence will end not with explanations, but with undeniable evidence. That is the victory of the silent worker. They build without distraction, they rise without warning, and they win without ever needing to say a word. One of the greatest traps on the journey to success is the need for approval. When you share your goals too soon, when you announce what you are working on, often hidden beneath that announcement is a subtle desire for validation. You want someone to nod, to say you are capable, to affirm that your dream makes sense, but this craving for approval is dangerous. It weakens you because it ties your confidence to the opinions of others. The more you seek their approval, the less power you have over your own decisions. You are no longer moving from conviction but from a desire to be accepted. True strength is the ability to move forward without permission, to continue building even if no one claps, even if no one believes, even if no one understands. Approval is a drug that feels good in the moment but destroys discipline over time. When someone praises your dream, you feel a burst of satisfaction, but that satisfaction is deceptive. It tricks you into feeling as though progress has been made when, in reality, nothing has changed. Approval feeds your ego but starves your hunger. It gives you the illusion of success without the substance of it. And when that approval disappears, your confidence collapses because it was never built on your own foundation. This is why chasing approval is a trap. It ties your sense of worth to voices outside of you, voices you cannot control, voices that may turn against you tomorrow. If you want real strength, you must detach from the need for recognition and build with or without applause. The truth is that approval makes you predictable. When people know you crave validation, they can manipulate you with praise or criticism. They can control your actions by offering or withholding recognition. But when you no longer need their approval, you become unstoppable. You move on your own terms, guided by your own vision, powered by your own discipline. Your work no longer depends on external encouragement, it is fueled by an inner fire. And that fire grows stronger because it cannot be extinguished by silence or rejection. The fewer people you rely on for affirmation, the more powerful you become because your strength is no longer borrowed, it is owned. To break free from the trap of approval, you must train yourself to value results over recognition. Let your satisfaction come not from what people say, but from what you actually create. Applause is fleeting, but results are permanent. When you achieve something real, even those who doubted you will be forced to respect it. Until then, you must learn to walk alone, to build quietly, and to trust that your discipline is enough. True power is acting without the need to be noticed. True freedom is moving forward without permission. And true success comes when you no longer live for approval, but for progress. That is how you escape the trap and step into unshakable strength. Every ounce of energy you have is a resource, and where you direct it determines the quality of your life. Too many people waste their energy on unnecessary talk, endless explanations, and meaningless conversations about what they plan to do. They burn through their strength describing visions that should be preserved in silence. Energy is like currency. You can spend it recklessly or you can invest it wisely. Talking about your goals before they are achieved is like spending money before you've earned it. You feel temporary satisfaction, but you rob yourself of the momentum needed to move forward. If you want to create something lasting, you must learn to conserve your energy, to use it not for noise but for action, not for words but for results. When you discipline yourself to stop wasting energy on unnecessary talk, you notice how much power you actually have. The mind becomes sharper, the body more determined, and the spirit more focused. Every conversation you avoid that does not serve your vision gives you back time and strength to pour into your craft. This is the principle of conservation. The less you waste, the more you have to invest. The great difference between those who succeed and those who fail is not always intelligence or talent. It is how they use their energy, The successful pour it all into building, the unsuccessful scatter it in distractions. Words are one of the easiest ways to scatter energy, and silence is one of the most effective ways to store it. Energy is also emotional. Every time you explain yourself to someone who doubts you, you drain not just your physical energy, but your emotional resilience. Defending your dream against small minds is exhausting, and it leaves you weaker for the real battles ahead. Conservation means refusing to fight unnecessary wars. It means staying silent when provoked, staying focused when doubted, and staying disciplined when tempted to prove yourself through words. Your energy is too valuable to be wasted on those who do not matter. Save it for your work, your growth, and your mission. That is where it produces real results. Talking is smoke, but action is fire. Smoke looks impressive for a moment, but it fades quickly. Fire lasts because it consumes, it transforms, and it leaves an undeniable mark. If you want to be remembered, if you want your dream to become reality, stop scattering your energy through endless talk. Conserve it, contain it, and direct it where it matters most. The quiet builder always has more energy than the loud talker, and that is why the quiet builder always wins. Your future is built not by how much you say, but by how much you save, how much you focus, and how much you invest in disciplined action. Conservation is the hidden key to strength. It turns ordinary energy into extraordinary achievement. Silence is more than discipline, it is protection. The moment you reveal too much of your path, you invite others to step into it. Some may cheer, but many will criticize, doubt, or even seek to sabotage. Not everyone who smiles at you is your ally, and not everyone who hears your dream wants to see it succeed. Some quietly hope for your failure because your success would expose their excuses. When you keep silent, you build a shield around yourself. No one can attack what they do not see. No one can ruin what they cannot reach. Silence keeps your dream in a safe place, guarded from unnecessary resistance, untouched by envy, and hidden from those who would rather see you broken than rising. Silence also protects you from distraction. The more you speak about your goals, the more people involve themselves in your journey. Some will ask endless questions, some will offer advice you do not need, and others will project their fears onto you. Every interaction forces you to spend energy defending, clarifying, or reassuring. But when you remain silent, you cut off this noise. You no longer have to defend what no one knows. You no longer waste time explaining, and you no longer carry the burden of other people's opinions. Silence becomes your armor, keeping your focus pure and your spirit unbothered. You can move forward without carrying the extra weight of unnecessary voices. The shield of silence is also a shield against envy. Human nature often resents what it cannot achieve. If you share your vision too soon, you invite envy into your circle. Envy can twist friendships, poison relationships, and even turn allies into enemies. Some will try to discourage you not because they care, but because your dream threatens their comfort zone. Others will secretly compete with you, attempting to outdo you, not out of inspiration but out of insecurity. By remaining silent, you disarm their envy. They cannot envy what they cannot see. They cannot compete with what they do not know. You are free to grow without interference, hidden behind the shield of quiet determination. This shield does not weaken you, it makes you stronger. It does not isolate you, it preserves you. In silence you remain untouchable, protected from the chaos that destroys so many before they ever rise. You guard your energy, you guard your vision, and you guard your progress. And when the time comes to reveal what you have been working on, the shield falls, and your results stand tall, undeniable and unshakable. That is the power of silence. It is not only a strategy for growth, but a shield against destruction. Protect yourself with it, and you will move forward with strength no criticism, no envy, and no opposition can pierce. Discipline is the dividing line between the many who dream and the few who achieve. Most people start with energy, excitement, and enthusiasm. They make plans, they speak loudly of what they will do. and they believe momentum alone will carry them forward. But time exposes the truth, excitement fades, distractions return, obstacles appear, and when the fire of motivation dies, only discipline remains. This is why so few reach the heights they desire, because discipline is rare. Discipline means doing what must be done whether you feel like it or not. It is the ability to keep moving when your mind screams to stop, when your body aches for comfort, when your heart begs for ease. Discipline is the quiet force that pushes you forward when the world cannot see, when no applause is given, and when results have not yet appeared. The few who master discipline live in a different reality. They do not depend on inspiration, because inspiration is temporary. They build routines, systems, and habits that anchor them even in storms. They train their minds to act without hesitation, to follow through regardless of moods or emotions. While others waste hours negotiating with themselves, should I work today? Should I skip? Should I rest? The disciplined few act. They do not debate with laziness. They do not negotiate with weakness. And they do not excuse their failures. Their actions are automatic, their commitment unshakable. Discipline becomes a way of life, a code of conduct, a shield against mediocrity. Discipline also separates those who wish from those who become. Anyone can wish to be wealthy, strong, or successful, but wishes are powerless without consistent action. Discipline is that action repeated daily, relentlessly, until the results can no longer be denied. The disciplined person may not move the fastest, but they move the longest. They outlast storms, they outlast doubt, and they outlast those who quit halfway. This endurance is what builds greatness, not sudden bursts of effort, but quiet, steady persistence over years. And while the undisciplined scatter their energy chasing pleasure or comfort, the disciplined focus their energy into building something permanent, something lasting, something extraordinary. Few choose this path because discipline requires sacrifice. It demands giving up comfort for progress, giving up distractions for focus, and giving up instant gratification for long-term rewards. The undisciplined run from sacrifice, the disciplined embrace it. They understand that every sacrifice is an investment, every refusal of comfort is a step forward, and every act of control is a brick laid in the foundation of their destiny. This is why the disciplined few appear different. They are not controlled by moods, temptations, or excuses. They rise when others sleep, they act when others hesitate, and they persist when others surrender. Discipline makes them rare, but it also makes them unstoppable. And in the end, it is not talent, luck, or even opportunity that crowns them victorious. It is the discipline that only the few are willing to master. Silence is often misunderstood. Many believe it is weakness, an inability to speak, or a lack of confidence. But silence, when chosen with intention, becomes a weapon of immense strength. True silence is not the absence of words, it is the presence of control. It is the discipline to hold back when your ego wants to prove itself. It is the mastery of choosing what to reveal and what to protect. In a world where people waste their energy by explaining, boasting, and constantly revealing their plans, silence is rare, and rarity always holds value. When you are silent, you keep your power contained. You do not scatter your energy by speaking too soon. You do not give away your vision to those who cannot understand it. Instead, you protect your mission like a seed planted deep in the soil, shielded from harsh winds, growing stronger in its quiet darkness before it emerges into the world. Silence also builds mystery. People cannot figure out those who do not constantly explain themselves. They cannot predict what they will do next, and this uncertainty creates a quiet authority. When everyone else is speaking, the one who holds silence stands out. They are not wasting time seeking validation. They are not desperate to prove their worth. They are secure, steady, and focused. This calm power makes others listen more carefully when they finally do choose to speak. Their words carry weight because they are not thrown around carelessly. Silence trains you to observe, to understand people more deeply, and to read situations more clearly. You notice what others miss because they are too busy talking. And with this sharper vision, you can make wiser moves, take smarter actions, and protect yourself from traps that catch the careless. The silent also conserve energy. Every word spoken requires thought, and every explanation drains focus. When you live constantly explaining yourself, you exhaust your mental strength on the wrong battlefield. Silence, on the other hand, keeps that energy inside where it can be used for action, for creation, for building. Talkers burn out in their own noise. The silent move forward quietly, steadily, and powerfully. This is why silence often precedes great achievement. The greatest changes are not announced with noise, but are born in stillness. Great plans are not shouted, but executed. And when results finally appear, they speak louder than any words ever could. Silence is not about fear, it is about strategy. It is knowing that not everyone deserves access to your vision. Some will misunderstand it, some will mock it. Some will secretly work against it. Protecting your silence is protecting your future. And when you finally reveal what you have built, no one can deny it, no one can ignore it, and no one can take it away. Silence, therefore, is not empty. It is full of strength, wisdom, and unshakable power. Those who master it rise above noise, above doubt, and above the need for approval. In their silence, they become untouchable, and in their untouchability, they become truly powerful. Growth is not an accident. It is the result of deliberate choices, repeated consistently, in silence and in discipline. Most people remain stuck in the same cycle because they repeat the same habits, surround themselves with the same influences, and feed their minds the same weak ideas. But those who understand the true circle of growth know that transformation comes from creating an environment that constantly pushes them forward. Growth is built by what you consume, what you practice, and who you allow near you. Every book you read plants a seed in your mind. Every conversation either strengthens or weakens your resolve. Every daily action moves you closer to discipline or deeper into distraction. Nothing is neutral. You are always either growing or shrinking. The circle of growth begins when you choose to take control of every influence shaping your mind and spirit. Those who grow relentlessly understand that silence and selective association are part of the process. They do not allow everyone into their inner circle. They protect their energy by keeping distance from those who drain it. They refuse to explain themselves to people who cannot understand their vision. Instead, they surround themselves with challenges, with ideas that stretch them, and with people who force them to rise higher. Growth thrives in silence because silence creates space for reflection, learning, and recalibration. When the noise of unnecessary voices is removed, clarity begins to appear. And in clarity, you can see where you are weak, where you are strong, and where you must change. This self-awareness becomes the fuel for new levels of progress. But growth is not only about learning, it is about acting on what you have learned. Many fill their heads with knowledge, yet remain unchanged because they do not apply it. The true circle of growth is knowledge turned into action, action turned into habit, and habit turned into transformation. Small, consistent steps compound into massive results. A single discipline choice made daily becomes a foundation unshakable by time. The person who commits to growth does not look for comfort. They look for refinement. They treat every struggle as a teacher, every failure as a lesson, and every success as a responsibility to climb even higher. Growth never ends because the moment you stop, decline begins. The circle is ongoing, feeding itself endlessly, making you stronger, sharper, and more resilient with every cycle. Growth requires patience. Nothing great emerges overnight. The strongest trees take years to rise, their roots growing deeper in silence before their branches reach for the sky. So it is with personal transformation. The results may not show immediately, but in silence, in discipline, and in persistence, growth is happening beneath the surface. And when it finally appears, it shocks the world, because no one saw the years of preparation that came before. This is why the circle of growth must remain protected. Speak less, work more, refine daily, and surround yourself with fuel rather than poison. In doing so, you place yourself in a constant state of becoming a state where you are never finished, never stagnant, and never defeated. The circle of growth ensures that every day you are stronger than the day before, and with that momentum, no obstacle can stand against you. The greatest victories are not shouted from rooftops. They do not arrive with grand announcements or constant reminders to others. The greatest victories are quiet, and they are undeniable. They come after years of silent work, private battles, and unseen sacrifices. While others were speaking, you were building. While others were explaining, you were refining. While others were doubting, you were believing. And one day, without needing to say a word, your results will rise before the world like a mountain that cannot be ignored. This is the quiet victory, the triumph that requires no explanation because the evidence speaks louder than any words ever could. Quiet victories are powerful because they silence critics without confrontation. You do not waste energy trying to prove yourself to those who doubted you. You do not need to fight with words because reality becomes your proof. Every achievement becomes a response, every result becomes a declaration, and every step forward becomes undeniable evidence of your strength. There is no need for arrogance, no need for boasting, no need for defense. Your results defend themselves. They speak with authority, and they echo louder than any promise ever spoken. This is why the quiet victory holds a purity that loud declarations can never match. It is not about proving others wrong, it is about proving yourself right. The quiet victory also protects your peace. When you do not depend on recognition to validate your progress, you remain free from the opinions of others. You do not rise and fall with their applause. You do not slow down because of their criticism. You do not waste energy chasing approval. Instead, you focus only on growth, only on discipline, only on the mission. And when the results finally appear, you enjoy them without needing the world's permission. This inner security makes the quiet victory sweeter, because it was never about showing off. It was about becoming the strongest version of yourself. And yet, the beauty of the quiet victory is that it continues to grow long after it is achieved. People may first notice your success, but they will not see the years of silence behind it. They will not see the nights of persistence, the sacrifices, the discipline, or the battles you fought in solitude. But you will know, and that knowledge gives you a strength that cannot be taken away. The quiet victory becomes part of your identity. It reminds you that you did not need noise, you did not need validation, and you did not need to convince anyone along the way. You needed only focus, patience, and discipline. And now, with the quiet victory in your hands, you are proof of what happens when silence becomes power, when discipline becomes a way of life, and when persistence refuses to die. In the end, the loudest voice is not the one that speaks. It is the life that demonstrates undeniable victory without ever needing to say a word. The greatest victories are not loud. They are not decorated with trumpets, and they do not require constant reminders to others. True victory is quiet because it is born in silence and struggle, not in noise and boasting. The most powerful triumphs come from years of hidden battles, moments when no one was watching, moments when you fought with yourself, moments when you refused to quit even when everything around you urged you to. These victories cannot be staged, cannot be faked, and cannot be purchased. They are earned in solitude, when you commit to growth while others waste time speaking of it. Quiet victory is not about being seen during the process. It is about being undeniable when the results finally arrive. It is like a mountain that rises slowly from the earth. You do not hear the sound of its growth, but one day there it stands, majestic, immovable, and impossible to ignore. This is why quiet victory carries so much force. While the world gets lost in noise, those who move in silence are building. While the talkers are busy trying to impress, the silent are busy preparing. While others boast about what they will do, the quiet achiever has already done it. And when the moment arrives, there is nothing left to say. The evidence speaks for itself, louder than any promise, louder than any argument, louder than any defense. The quiet victory does not ask for attention, yet it receives it. It does not beg for recognition, yet it commands respect. For respect is never demanded, it is earned. And when your victory arrives without words, without noise, and without boasting, the world has no choice but to acknowledge it. What makes the quiet victory even more powerful is that it cannot be taken away. When you win loudly, you depend on the approval and applause of others. When you win quietly, you depend only on truth, on results, on reality. The truth cannot be denied. The results cannot be erased. The reality cannot be argued. No critic, no doubter, no skeptic can take away the fact of your achievement. And because it was won in silence, without noise, without showing your every step, no one can claim credit for it but you. It belongs entirely to you, the sacrifices you made, the patience you showed, the discipline you embraced. That is why the quiet victory feels different. It tastes sweeter because it was not rushed. It feels stronger because it was not shared prematurely. And it shines brighter because it came from the hidden work no one else was willing to do. So when you think of victory, think not of applause or validation. Think not of shouting your plans or broadcasting your efforts. Think of the quiet victory, the one that surprises the world not because you spoke about it, but because you lived it. This kind of victory humbles the arrogant, inspires the lost, and strengthens those still fighting their hidden battles. The quiet victory is proof that silence is not weakness. Silence is preparation. Silence is power. Silence is the birthplace of triumph that cannot be denied. And when your time comes, the world will see it, not because you announced it, but because you became it.